Let's talk about Bitcoin. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Welcome to everyone who's new to the channel. Anyone who's been following already, please make sure to smash up the like button right away. As you know, we did it again. We smashed our targets. Everything that I've talked about yesterday and then the previous days pretty much came into play, and we're now looking at the key resistance levels. Of course, here you can see the smaller time frame, the 4-hourly chart that I will be covering, then the daily chart, and of course the massive trend that's been developing over a few years now. So I get into all of that. I want to let you know as well, if you're new to my channel and if you're new to who I am in general, my name is Patrick. I bring you daily Bitcoin and crypto market updates. Make sure to follow me, hit the notification bell, subscribe to get notified whenever I update the Bitcoin price, no matter where the market is going, up, down, or sideways. And make sure to follow me over on my Twitter page as well, where you get the fastest Bitcoin updates and crypto market updates as well. Guys, today I've been active again. I let you know, of course, that I will be uploading here an update on what I already talked about over a month ago. Here you can see it on July 10th, where I started talking about this massive trend where we were starting to confirm the third touch point on the support line. And of course also here bunch of short-term updates where I've been nailing the tops and bottoms. You can see here the 24,200 area where I predicted the last couple of rejection points there in alignment with the Fibonacci retracement level. Talking about the daily chart yesterday, that was my last tweet yesterday here, where I said if we close back above 23,850, we will see more upside for Bitcoin. And then I followed that up, of course, here as well this morning. Everything from my last tweet is right on track. Bitcoin closed above 23,850 on a daily closing basis, of course that is. And then Bitcoin printed a new higher high just below 24,700. That was about here, that was 7:40 in the morning, so a few hours ago. And yeah, everything is still looking good in the charts, and that's what I want to get into right away. So also make sure to follow me on Twitter. This way you get the most precise and most constant updates from me, because these work perfectly together, my Twitter page and my YouTube channel. And of course over on TradingView as well, you can see down here in the banner all my handles. So make sure to follow me on all of those. This way you can guarantee yourself that you get all of my updates. Now I want to start out here on the 4-hourly chart. Of course, what I showed you just before here, the rejection that I predicted the other day here, where I also called the exact bottom. I told you guys it's likely that we get rejected here and then bounce, our worst case scenario here, that we get a retest of the previous resistance here, and then that's exactly what happened. If you want to check that out, make sure to check out my previous videos, not only from yesterday and the day before, the entire last week, for example. I already talked about exactly what's going on in the charts right now. And yeah, so here we talked about this a few days ago as well, that here where the yellow line is, there was a very strong area for Bitcoin to get a bounce. This is where I predicted the exact bounce here. Then I told you guys before that here, that here is the major point where we could get rejected. And then when we were down here, I told you if the CPI news are positive, then we can expect to go and challenge this resistance line here once again, right around 24,200 on a 4-hourly closing basis is what we were looking for to confirm further upside. You can see we closed back above that. So what we want to achieve here now, of course, is I already dropped the retracement here, the Fibonacci retracement of the current uptrend. So if we get a bit of a correction here, of course, we want to get a bounce in this area here between the 38.2 and the 50, and ideally on top of that here above the green line, so above the previous peaks. But as you know, we can always wick down below, trigger a couple of bear traps here, and then it's likely that we hit like the 38.2 or the 50 and then continue up from there. If we lose those levels, of course, with the 61.8 here being a critical one, then it's likely that we go all the way back down here to this key support level, where then it becomes decisive whether we go lower or we rally back up from there. This is important, but even more important today is of course the daily chart. That's where I mapped out everything for you guys. I've been talking about these levels for a long time now. You're familiar with this chart, and this chart I've been posting when it was still visible, clearly visible on the smaller time frame on the 4-hourly chart. I've been started talking about it back in June already. And now let's get into it. I already pointed everything out here, as you can see. Let's start at the bottom here, From the support perspective, of course, we want to focus more on the bullish stuff right now, but we also have to keep our eyes on where we need to hold here. The weekend coming up, as you know, volatility is usually low there. We're waiting for futures to open. We're waiting for news to come for how the next week is opening on traditional markets as well. So therefore, we can always expect a bit of boringness and sideways action throughout the weekend, and therefore we have to look here. If we go lower, we want to still hold this trend line here, right? The trend line that I've been talking about here basically since we've been down here, and I told you guys now we have potential here to form a trend line. Then now just recently I talked about it a couple of days ago and 3 days ago. Actually, I started talking about it right up here, if you've been watching, that we need to now confirm another higher low, which we now did here. You can see it perfectly in line, and now we're challenging once again this green rectangle area here. You can see it right here. This is the area where we shot wicks up, but we never managed to close above. So that is a key area now to close within or above to confirm further upside for Bitcoin. The line in the sand then being, of course, the 25,350 level here, coming from this wick back in May, where we wicked down from the previous range and then started establishing the 28,500 support level here, which would be our next target if we were to break above the 25,350 level here on a daily closing basis. So keep that in mind. This is the key area here. All this here, what I talked about yesterday, step number one, of course, we accomplished it now to close above the 23,850 level. Once again, here you can see the video right now. This is the video from yesterday, and there I talked about all the steps that are necessary, but here nonetheless covering it once again. Step one was to close back above the 23,850 level here. Then we want to get out of the ascending channel here, or you can look at it as a massive bear flag as well, of course, and get above the resistance here where the wicks are aligned. You can see that, and then the confirmation, of course, always horizontal lines. And then I want to remove most of this here quickly so you can get a clearer view. And then we take some indicators here also into play. The simple moving averages, and they can see perfect alignment here. First of all, this is the 50-day SMA, the white one, and then we have the 100-day SMA here, right, perfectly in line with the horizontal resistance here coming from that wick that I just talked about. So we always, if we find alignment between key supply and demand areas and moving averages, and then other indicators that I use, for example, like Fibonacci retracement, which I come to in a second as well. If we find alignment between multiple indicators, that's always very strong, because different traders, of course, use different techniques and different indicators, and therefore if we see the same numbers on all those indicators, then we can be certain that there is either very strong support or, like here in this case, very strong resistance right around 25,300, 25,350. Now I spoke about it already. Let's pull up the Fibonacci retracement here as well, and there you can see it. We have to break above here currently, above the 50. So that's sitting right here in line, perfectly in line with basically with the resistance here of this ascending channel that I just spoke about. And of course as well here, that would be in line with the, here you can see the green box. We want to get into, like I said, at least close within this box, as we failed to do so since July 20th we've been trying, and now we want to finally close a candle inside there, ideally above the 50 on the Fibonacci retracement. As you can see, that's currently our resistance point. Also a strong Fibonacci level giving us resistance on the weekly chart, but I will get into the weekly chart once again tomorrow. If you want to know what I'm talking about, once again, make sure to check out my video from yesterday, and I think all the days before I already been talking about these strong resistance levels on the weekly chart as well. So here you can see the key area confirmed by multiple indicators, multiple resistance levels, horizontal resistance, then the diagonal resistance from the ascending channel and from the wicks here. And there we can see the perfect alignment in this area. Still key here to break above 25,350. And then basically you can see here the perfect alignment as well with the line in the sand, 78.6. And by the way, this is the Fibonacci retracement here coming from the last major leg down from Bitcoin. So there you see, I always talk about it, the line in the sand on the Fibonacci retracement, the 78.6 here, perfectly in line with the previous support of the previous range here, right around 28,500. That would be our target if we break above this key level here, right around 25K. So now I want to get into the charts. This is all the short-term stuff. That's what's important for the coming days. and potentially weeks. And of course, I have to mention it before I switch over to the monthly chart, where I want to talk about this key trend that's been developing, I think, since 2018. So make sure to stick around now. And this is very interesting. It's going to be brief, but nonetheless very interesting. And if you haven't done so already, guys, go down here, smash up the like button, and also get involved in the comments. I'm constantly posting stuff there as well, and it would be cool just to generate some more engagement here for YouTube to pick up that my videos are recommendable and that you guys are enjoying them. And for that, you can't pay me anything. As I said before, I'm not posting any links here. I don't want you guys to start leverage trading if you don't know what you're doing, and it's just crazy. And that's why I always tell you, don't listen to these guys, to these influencers. They're not professional traders or technical analysts. They live off the marketing world behind crypto, right? So I'm not posting any of that. The only thing you can pay me here is with engagement. Smash up the like button and make sure to be subscribed and hit the notification bell to always get notified here, because I'm updating the Bitcoin price and planning to update a lot of altcoins, Ethereum, of course, and other altcoins that are in my portfolio in the near future as well. And now I want to get into that monthly chart here. So the monthly chart, this is a trend here. We're on the monthly logarithmic chart, and they can see a trend that's been developing that I've talked about, of course, here on my Twitter page. I posted a clip of it. I talked about already a while ago. I think it was July 10th exactly. The video is right up here right now. You can check it out. There I started talking about this trend here, that we need to confirm it now. So that's exactly what we did. I think I talked about it when we were about a week into this candle right here, where we found, of course, the bounce of my predicted Bitcoin bottom that you can always find on my Twitter page. Here I have a brief version of it where I told you guys that my personal bottom for Bitcoin that we never fall below again is right around 17,500. And yeah, back to the chart. Now you can see here at the bottom, this is where I pointed it out, the bounce perfectly in line here with this green line here, of course, coming from the 20K peak in 2017, and then the touch points that we had here, right, in winter 2018, 2019, then the Black Swan event here, March 2020, and then what I talked about just over a month ago here, that we're now trying to confirm the third touch point. Always need at least 3 touch points to confirm a trend line. And like I said it a million times before as well, you guys know it, the larger the time frame, the more weight it carries. Of course, if we have a trend on a monthly chart, that is absolutely massive. And here we see it. We got the bounce here. We're starting to move upwards here now. And you guys know, now you've seen where the key resistance levels here are. Of course, we want to confirm a trend reversal here on the larger time frames as well. And for that, once again, check out yesterday's video. I talked about the exact area that we need to get above on the weekly chart. So you can see where exactly things are starting to turn around as well from a long-term perspective. And then if we go here and let's just drag out this resistance line of this channel here, and there you can see here, depending on how long it takes, of course, it's not going to happen in a month, but even if it happened this month right away, that would take us to 120K. So our targets are all the way up here to 200K and higher, up to 300K. And yes, guys, so this is basically it here. This is what we're looking for here to continue here. Now we found the bounce, of course, and what we want to do here now is continue upwards. And then I want to pull up the 50 month SMA as well, which is of course very important, something that I spoke about when we had the monthly close and the weekly close together, where we then closed back above the 200 week SMA as well as back above the 50 month SMA. And now we want to confirm here, of course, we still have a lot of time left. We still have about, how long is there left? Almost 3 weeks left in the monthly candle here. And therefore we want to confirm supported back above the 50 month SMA as well here. As you know, historically, we have never closed below it, so getting back above it, confirming that back as support would be a strong indication that my predicted Bitcoin bottom is in. Right, guys, that was it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Something a little bit different here, a trend that I've kept my eye on for a long time now here, and that's starting to look a lot more bullish. Make sure to engage with me everywhere, here on YouTube, TradingView, over on Twitter. And yeah, I need you guys to grow my channels, to get more viewers, to reach more people with my information. My goal here is to teach people stuff from my own experience. I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning when I started out trading and when I started out investing in digital assets and so on. And therefore I'll also be posting a lot of stuff about how I use my indicators, how I set up my charts and so on, so you guys can just follow what I'm doing and understand it a little bit better. All right, guys, that's it then. I'm gonna get back outside to the pool now, chill out with the family for a bit, and then get back to the computer, keep my eye on the chart, always of course on my mobile phone. And for you guys, as always, happy trading and see you very soon.